Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Dr. P and Miss English. So glad to have you with us this morning on the Educator Spotlight, where our
Mhm.
partnership is built on empowering minds, inspiring futures, and supporting educators today.
And we are highlighting and paving the way for difference makers. Good
Okay.
morning again.
Good morning again. So today we have Miss Flakasha English. I hope I pronounced that right. Did I pronounce it
It's,
right?
it's
Good. Yeah.
Flakasha. Flakasha.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's
Say it.
okay.
Flakasha.
Flakasha English.
Okay, so
Yes.
then so you go by Keisha.
Keisha. Yes.
Okay, well I just know you by Miss English, so
Yes.
so please forgive me
Right.
for
Yeah.
pronouncing it incorrectly.
Okay.
And so we're just going to start off by asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into education.
Okay. Well, my name is Flakasha English. I'm 40 years old. I'm a mother of three beautiful children, Katura, Trinity, and Joel.
Uh-huh.
I am a believer and I love God. I'm a member of Grace Cathedral Church of God in Christ in Dallas, Texas, under the leadership of Pastor Superintendent Nathaniel Green and First Lady, Leading Lady Kanisha Green.
Okay.
I serve as a youth Sunday school teacher and Wednesday night youth Bible study teacher and serve in children's church on second Sundays. I am also a special education resource teacher for kindergarten and first grade at Dewberry Elementary in Forney, Texas. Also serve as a sponsor for a mentoring girls group at our school called Sisters Soaring for Success, directed by one of our assistant principals, Ms. Evans Brown. I'm also a private tutor for reading only called Keisha's Tutoring Services. I have served children in some capacity, from daycare centers to preschools to private schools to public schools since the year of 2005 for the past 19 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is quite a resume. When you say Dr.
Very.
P?
Yes. And
Yes.
I meant to tell you that I've known also Miss English from our previous school. And how many years was that, Miss English?
Oh, that was 20, was it 2018? Well, I started there 2017, but I think we met, it was either 2018 or 2019,
Yeah, something
somewhere in
like
there.
that. And then
Yes.
I moved and but I moved to another school. I didn't know that she also moved, but she is aside from a coworker, she's also a good friend of mine. So yeah,
Yes.
we kind of have that kind of connection. So when you said that oh, we will have her, oh, I know her.
Yes.
Well, that's really
Yes.
neat because I
Yeah.
met her at the school that y'all are talking about. I met
Uh-huh.
her when I was the IS
Right,
Right.
right.
for
Right.
the school, yeah, and it's just always a breath of fresh air and just very you could tell she loved children, she loved her job, and we've connected. We're connected on Facebook, so I've been watching how her tutoring services have been growing and just very proud of her and the efforts that you're making. Do you have a set of twins?
Yes, the girls are
I thought,
twins. Couture and
yeah, I
Trinity.
thought,
Yes, they're nine. Yes,
okay,
yes.
yeah, no, I've seen
Yes.
that I've seen your children, very beautiful children. So
Thank
again,
you.
thank you. It's very good for very great for us to be able to connect back with you and have
Yes,
those, connections that we had years prior and able to continue to see your growth.
yes,
So glad to be with you this morning. So
yes,
one of the questions that we like to, after you kind of talk to us about what your story is how do you feel your career journey and your experiences affected that trajectory in your life? So it sounds like like you stated, you've been working with children in some capacity for a long time. So
yes.
how have those experiences contributed to the trajectory that you're on in your life?
Well, that realizing that serving children is my calling. A lot of times we do things, but we're all called to do something. And
Hmm.
so looking at my past and the past 19 years up to this point, this is no shadow of a doubt that it's a calling. It's what I love to do. It's it's the joy I have of doing it. It's the passion that I have of doing it. There's not a single day. It doesn't matter what comes, life, storms, challenges, trials, tribulations come our way, but still, I still get up, I go, and I press, and I push, and I go and teach these babies because that's what I love. And I know that's what I'm called to do. Even before I was a mother, I always, if I wasn't at work with children, I had children at my house, or I'm going to pick up someone else's kids and spending time with them and taking them places. Like as as young as when I was old enough to drive at 16. I've
Wow.
always been around children. And to this day, I still have somebody, even I have three of my own, but kids want, now I have children, other children want to come play with them or other babies. So I love babies. So I'm always gravitating to someone else's child, even with three of my own. So I know this is definitely a call.
Well, well, that's great to hear. And again, we're so glad to have you as one of those educators that's going to make sure that whatever you're doing is going to impact children.
Yes.
Miss English, when we met at our previous school before,
Mm-hmm.
you were not a full-fledged teacher. You were a support person, right? What
Right.
made you change what made you change your mind to become a full-fledged teacher?
Um, Going into the classes, serving as a support, made me realize that I can do more and I should do
Hmm.
more. So that pushed me and motivated me to go back to school, to get my master's in special education because I knew special education was a high demand and it's still a high demand
Correct.
today. And so that's my love for it. And even I go back to my mom, her name is Merlin Clayton. Over the years, for the last 30 years, she has always worked with special need children and adults still to this day.
Hmm.
So I've always been around it
Hmm.
growing up. And so that pushed me to go into special education as I became an adult and finished school because I've always been around it since a little girl. So I knew that was something that I wanted to do as well. So that from going from a support, I think that's where that started, starting being a paraprofessional in the school system based on how I grew up and what I was in my surroundings and my environment and going from support to an actual teacher. So yes.
Hmm. Yes. I'm glad
Mhm.
you brought that up, Dr. P, because I was
Mhm.
trying to remember. I think I didn't want to say it like
Right.
I would be like, oh my gosh, that wasn't correct. But I do remember you when I was there. I was in it was 2016 because I
Mhm.
retired that February. So it had to be around it. But I remember you going to school and
Mhm.
you were in that same room that we all met in, and I knew that you were
Yes.
a support and a pair, but you were I could just see it in you then.
Yes.
um, that even though you were doing everything that needed to be done, even as a support, not to say that that role is not very important, all roles are so
Right.
important to all of our children, but just
Right.
knowing that you were taking that and saying, you know what, I feel like my calling needs to go even beyond that. So
Yes.
glad for for what you've accomplished and
Yes.
just thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Right.
All right. So, the and just wondering, like, are you from Shreveport and y'all just happened to move to Texas, or were you from Texas and went back home?
Well, I'm from Louisiana, but I'm from the Plain Dillon, Spring Hill
Okay.
area.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Shreveport when I met my husband and got married
Uh-huh.
12 years ago. So yeah, I'm from
Okay.
the Spring Hill, Cotton Valley,
Yeah.
Minden, all those
All
areas
those
down there.
areas.
Yeah, down in there in the
Okay.
country.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes. And so, if there was something that you could tell your younger self,
Hmm.
about your current profession, what would you
Hmm.
tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self how important education is and which direction to go in through life and in your careers. For example, my younger self, after high school, I did go to college, but I kept changing my major like most do. I kept changing my major from medical
Oh,
field. I was like, I didn't know which way I wanted to go, medical field or education. So I would take medical field courses, then I take education courses, and then I end up in education. So I would tell my younger self to know which direction you want to go in um, at a younger age so that you won't go through all those different changes of schools and degree programs as you're progressing to complete your college courses.
Okay.
mhm.
Yes. And that is true. Sometimes when we're younger, we're really not sure what we want to do. So it's
Right,
great that you kind of went back and forth just to see where that calling was, but it still brought you right on back to
right,
education.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes you think that it kind of like a love story, you keep pushing it away, but if it's really meant for you, if it's destined for you, it will really come back to
Oh
you
yeah,
in
definitely.
a
It
good,
will.
way. So Miss English, I know you were from Louisiana and now you're in Texas and you're still doing special education services,
Yes.
supporting the children with special needs.
Yes.
So, um, just in a little bit, in a positive way, how could you compare, Louisiana school servicing children with, and then in Texas? Because who knows, there might be, people watching here, and then they might also give an idea. Oh, okay, I know that I want to, but give us the difference of or similarities between.
Um, the way we service is the same. You
Okay.
just, but I would say, from my experience and the
Mhm.
district that I work in, it's truly about serving, and it's a
Mhm.
family. I have the Dewberry Elementary School that I work at. It's family. Like it's like a village. Like it said, like
Okay.
we when we grew up, it said, it takes a village, and that's what I see. That's what I've experienced here. Um, People coming together and helping each other out. Like us teachers, for example, we have children. So, we got to go to a training or this or that. That other teacher will step in. Hey, I'll watch your kids. Hey, I'll help do this. It's a teamwork thing that I
Wow.
really love, and it's unity, and I see it every day, and it's very enlightening. Um, and the children are children. It may be different races, it may be different kids, but they're all in need of the same thing. So that factor is just a way of serving. For me, is serving kids in another state now.
Mm.
Um, this the same way, it's the same love, it's the same passion. I'm just pouring in what I've learned and grew from where I came from. I took all that
Mhm.
that I got from Caddo Parish and brought it here, the
One-
experience. And so it's been great. It's been great thus far.
Okay. And that's so important to hear you talk about the family atmosphere.
Oh yes.
Because a
It's
lot of
awesome.
educators, I hate to say it, but it's true. Sometimes you don't find yourself in a community that's
Right.
supportive.
Right.
But I can very well say when I was a teacher, I did have that at the school I was at, and I was very um, I think just very grateful to know that, and I kind of expected that where I went everywhere I went, and it wasn't always
Yes.
the same
Right.
case.
Right.
But just to hear you say that you all take care of each other's children if you have a professional development, that is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
That is so
Yes.
lucky for
Yeah.
you to have that.
Yes.
And we're glad that that is your experience. I'm glad that,
Yes.
when you what you're doing now is even impacting it more because you're having the support that makes the job a little bit easier. We know it's
Yes.
challenging,
Yes. Yes.
working, teaching children, and especially some working into special education, because even a regular ed teacher has a lot of responsibilities, but special ed is like a whole nother another
Whole nother
world of
level. Yeah.
responsibility. And
Of
but
course.
you do, I'm sure you're doing very well with it, and just thank you for bringing up the fact about the community and
Yes.
you all feeling like a family there.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
So what do you do for self-care? Because we realize that, again, like we just stated, it can be challenging. We can experience stressors, no matter if whatever profession we're in, but we definitely know that those stressors can impact how you are feeling from day to day. So what is some
Mhm.
of the self-care that you do for yourself?
For myself, I need to do it more. I don't do it
Okay.
enough. I'm gonna be honest. But
Okay.
when I do, I'm a music inclined person. So I even at work, in between servicing my kids, I have instrumental music that's soothing.
Mhm.
I listen to music, pretty much gospel. Spending time, it's like me time, spending time, praying and reading God's word. That's what I do now, or just try to get, rest. When I can have some time away from my kids, because at times they have other places to go. So I use that time to
Mhm.
just sit in quietness in the stillness of a room and just um, meditate and just reflect
Mhm.
on what's going on and just enjoying that peace, that
Yeah.
peace of mind. But I do reflect to music a lot. It soothes me, it gets me, through the toughest times.
Wow, that's great to
And
hear.
she has a good voice.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Beautiful
Very
voice
good
too.
voice.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
Well, that's going to help those educators out there that sometimes feel like I don't have the time to take care of myself. But we all know if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of our families
Right.
and children at school. So hopefully
Yes.
somebody's hearing that and realizing that it doesn't have to be something big and drawn out for your self-care.
Um,
And it could just be something as simple as what you stated, listening to
hmm
soothing music and meditating
hmm
and
Yes.
praying to God. So thank you
Yes.
for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And
So
I'm sorry, Dr. P. I was just seeing, making sure you
I'm
want
gonna
to
go to the
next one.
next one. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, we talked about self-care, we talked about health and wellness and how, we really take care, especially on this time, and the demand of work is very high. So
Yes.
if there's one piece of advice you can share to our listeners, because, as educators, they really thought that, oh, it's just easy, and they don't even know until they set foot on the kind of job that we do. So
Yes.
what kind of advice you're gonna give to, our listeners or viewers?
Yes. I would say know what you're called to do and do it. Even if you have to do it afraid. And also I would say, like we were talking about the self-care, take time for yourself because you deserve it. We
Yes,
deserve it.
exactly.
Yes, we
Hmm
do. I love that. Yes, so
Yeah.
listeners, you hear that as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I would.
Well, oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. P.
The first one that you shared, you can just know what you know. What was that? Repeat the first one, Miss
Yeah,
English. No,
Oh, to know what you're called to do,
and do it.
know
even
what you're
if you're
called to do in life and what you love to do and to do it, even if you have to do it afraid. Some things we just are scared to do, but
Hmm.
it's what we're
deep,
supposed to do. So do it and do it afraid if you have to.
yeah.
Yes. I've heard that quite a bit, and
Wow.
I can remember somebody. I'm trying to make sure I'm saying it right, where it says you're getting your wings, but you get them on the way down. So you are, we always want to say that we have our our strength comes from, if we're flying, so we just gonna make sure that we build those wings on the way down.
Right.
So, so where can our listeners
Mhm.
sign up if they decide or feel like that they need maybe some tutoring services for their children, or
Mhm.
know someone who might have some children that may be in need of tutoring? Can you
Uh-huh.
share maybe however they can get in contact with you?
Yes. If you need tutoring and reading only, just sorry, my computer trying to go down. I think it's break.
This is
But if
this
you
is
need tutoring and reading, you can please contact me by phone. My number is 318-771-1199, or you can reach me by email at elfboyd, BOYD, 1199 at gmail.com. I'm here to help and serve our children in reading and I do offer online and in-person sessions.
Wonderful. Well,
Wonderful.
thank you so much for sharing that with our viewers as
Yes.
well.
Yes, ma'am.
So we want to make sure, as we're starting to close, we just want to
Mhm.
say again, thank you for your service.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure to have met you and then be able to could still be able to connect and see wonderful things that you're doing.
Yes. Thank y'all so much for this opportunity to come on
Sure.
today.
Yeah.
Thank you
We're
for your
always looking for educators just to share their stories. So if you even know of some of your friends on your
Uh-huh.
campus who might be
Yes.
interested, we would love to hear their stories as well because
Okay.
everybody's journey is
care.
different, but it's
Yes.
all coming back to making a difference for children.
Yes, definitely. Thank y'all.
You're welcome. Dr. P, did you have any words to end with?
I am just happy to see you, Miss English, for the long
Yes,
uh,
likewise.
keep
Yes.
connected, like old friendships do. Like
Yes.
you will be off for your communication for a moment, and then once you reconnect, it's kind of like you're just picking up back up, from the last day.
Right, right.
That's how we do with Miss English,
Yes.
and I am just say leap of faith. When you say do it when you're scared, because when you have that strong faith, it will happen if it's really destined for you.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much for your time for today. And then we're going to go ahead and sign off until our next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
y'all.
Welcome.
Miss English.